Here's a quick little festive mini make for you to make these lovely little Christmas trees. You're going to need a pair of clippers, some thick willow. This is 5 foot length of willow that I'm using, and some fine weavers. I also like to use a block or a cardboard box as support. You can do this freehand, it's not totally necessary, but it does make life a bit easier. So I'm going to use the foam block here. Floristry foam is also a good one. And first of all, I need to make the outside edge and the tree trunk. So off one of my rods, I'm going to just trim off a little length here. I won't give you measurements because you can make your own sizes. You can make them in various sizes. But I will just measure off this one here. I've popped a kink there and I'm going to snip it off so both my lengths are the same. I'm going to pop my ends in to my foam just a little distance apart and then start my weaving. So if you start with the tip end of your fine rod, pop the end just under the top there and bring it back on itself and just hold it in place. You hold it to one of the sides and then you're going to start weaving side to side. So round one side and back in towards you, round the other side and back in towards you. And keep going with that motion and you're catching that little tail end in as you go. So keep going. As you start to work down, support these sides, so just pop your thumb under there or hold it with your fingers just to stop you pulling it in together. So if you pull it in, you'll just make a very skinny tree. So I'm just always trying to hold it open as I go. And once I know that tail end is caught in, I'm just going to trim the excess off. We don't need it all. There we go. And continue to weave with that end. There we go. Continue to weave until it doesn't turn very nicely around the edges. That'll be fine. And then I'm going to add another piece in. So start with the tip end, just pop it into one side. You've got the tail end of your last one there hanging out. Pop it in the other way so it's hanging out the other side there. And then carry on with that rod and leave the other ends behind. Whoops. Does help for you to shape the willow first by doing that and then bringing it through. Helps you get nice smooth turns around the side here. So if you shape it first and then pop it through. There we go. So we'll start with another one and pop it into the edge here again and then start from there. So at about this point, I'm going to add in my little tree trunk. So I'm going to get the piece that I cut off. I'm going to pop that in so it's in line with the top there. There we go. And it's at the same level as where I am at there. But if it was too long, I could have snipped it down a little bit, but it's at the same level. But now we're going to start weaving in and out of both gaps. So as you go around the outside, you'll come back in that first gap, around your little tree trunk, and then in the other gap, and then and then back round and back in and out of each gap again. go. There we go, another one. We'll just pop one more in. There we go, that'll do. So you could obviously go down further if you wanted to make some bigger trees. Now we're going to gently just take him out of the board and finish the last bit off. So just turn that over, and we're going to use the side rod to finish the bottom here to hold all the weaving in. I always take the thinner end, it's a little bit easier. If this one doesn't go right, then you've always got the other one as a backup. So you'll kink your rod here just at the bottom of the weaving, bring it across, and where it touches the inside edge here, you're going to put another kink in. So make sure you kink it in the right place. There we go. And then after that kink, I'm going to cut it to about 1 inch, and I usually cut it with a little point on there. I'm going to push that then up the channel there on the inside edge of that one. There we go. So that finishes off that bottom edge there, and that'll hold all your weaving in. So then all of these excess pieces can come off. So this one is, we don't need that one anymore. Then all these pieces I'm going to trim flush with the edge. There we go. So that's your tree done. If you want to mount him in a block, you'll need to drill a little hole in there, and then you can just chamfer the edge off a little bit, cut it to the length that you want, and just nibble a bit away. So that you can fit him in, pop him in. And it usually helps just to twist these on a little bit. There you go. There you are. You can decorate them with a little bit of ribbon. You can make smaller ones and pop some little bells on there. I think these ones are really nice for hanging on the tree or decorating gifts with, so using them as part of your tags. You can make bigger ones, of course, and use different varieties of colours in there. There are different ways of finishing off as well. So this one, you'll probably just see that I've done all my ends down the middle here. Because it's bigger, you're going to have lots more ends. So this is a nice tidy way of doing that, so you don't have your ends at the outside edges. Hope you enjoy making those.